The real reason cities collapse after the power goes out isn't panic, looting, or even crime. It's time. Specifically, how fast modern cities run out of the invisible systems that keep you alive without you ever noticing. You think the grid failing is about darkness, about candles and flashlights, and maybe a generator humming somewhere down the block. But the moment the power dies, a countdown starts, and almost nobody understands what's actually being counted down. Here's what nobody warns you about. Cities don't collapse when people lose electricity. They collapse when systems that depend on electricity lose pressure, flow, synchronization, and trust. You live inside a machine that never sleeps, and the moment it stops, it doesn't fail gracefully. It fails like a body deprived of oxygen. Slowly at first, then all at once. Start with water, because that's the one everyone assumes will just keep working. You turn the tap and expect water because it's always been there. What most people don't realize is that city water systems are powered systems. Pumps maintain pressure. Treatment plants disinfect and regulate flow. Elevated tanks buy you time, not safety. In many cities, you have anywhere from a few hours to maybe a day of usable water pressure after a blackout. After that, taps sputter, then go silent. Toilets stop flushing. Fire suppression loses pressure. The city becomes a dense collection of people with no sanitation and no way to move waste away from themselves. Disease doesn't need weeks. It needs dirty hands and shared surfaces. This is why experienced responders store water immediately during outages, not because they're paranoid, but because gravity runs out faster than you think. This works because water systems are designed for efficiency, not resilience. And once pressure drops below a threshold, contamination risks skyrocket. Then there's food, and not the dramatic empty shelves version you see on the news. The real failure happens behind the scenes. Grocery stores run on just-in-time logistics, meaning most urban stores carry 3 days of food at best, often less. Refrigeration fails within hours. Freezers become ticking clocks. Warehouses rely on automated systems that shut down without power. Trucks stop moving when fuel pumps can't dispense diesel. Even if food exists outside the city, the pathways that move it in are brittle. People don't riot because they're hungry on day one. They riot when they realize there is no refill coming. This is why survival planning focuses on calorie density and shelf stability, not comfort foods. Your body doesn't care about variety when insulin drops and stress hormones spike. It cares about energy. Hospitals are where the illusion of control really shatters. Yes, they have generators. No, they are not infinite. Backup power prioritizes critical systems, not comfort, not capacity, and not duration. Fuel deliveries depend on functioning infrastructure. Staff exhaustion becomes a limiting factor before fuel does. Ventilators, dialysis machines, IV pumps, refrigeration for medications. All of these become triage decisions. And here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. Modern medicine assumes stability. Remove that assumption, and even survivable conditions become fatal. This is why the smartest preparation is reducing your dependence on medical systems you won't have access to. Managing chronic conditions, understanding basic wound care, infection control, and hydration isn't rugged fantasy, it's statistical reality. As the hours stretch into days, communication fractures. Cell towers have battery backups, usually measured in hours. Data centers prioritize uptime, but local networks don't. The internet doesn't die everywhere at once. It becomes unreliable, then fragmented, then useless. Without communication, coordination collapses. Emergency services don't stop because they don't want to help. They stop because dispatch systems fail, fuel runs out, and personnel can't safely move through the city. When response times stretch from minutes to unknown, behavior changes. People stop waiting for help and start improvising solutions. Some of those solutions are smart. Some are dangerous. This works because humans are adaptive, but adaptation under stress amplifies both cooperation and conflict. Now let's talk about looting, because it's always mentioned and rarely understood. Looting isn't about chaos-loving criminals waiting for an excuse. It's about resource acquisition under perceived scarcity. When people believe the system will not recover in time, social contracts loosen. The first things taken aren't luxury items, they're tools, medicine, batteries, fuel, and water containers. The shift happens when people stop believing tomorrow will look like yesterday. That belief collapses faster than buildings ever do. This is why situational awareness matters more than weapons. Avoidance beats confrontation every time. Mobility, low visibility, and timing are what keep you safe, not bravado. This section is based on practical field survival experience rather than formal academic sources. Power loss also kills temperature control, which sounds trivial until you realize how narrow the human comfort band really is. In heat waves, air conditioning failures turn apartments into ovens. In winter, heating systems fail, pipes freeze, and indoor temperatures drop below survivable levels. Your body burns calories to stay warm. Dehydration accelerates. Sleep becomes fragmented. Cognitive function drops. This is why insulation, layering, and understanding thermal management matter more than flashy gear. Staying dry and blocking convection can double survival time in cold environments. Physics doesn't care how tough you feel. The final reason cities collapse is psychological, and it's the most dangerous one. People assume collapse looks like explosions and sirens. In reality, it looks like uncertainty. Rumors spread faster than facts. Small failures feel enormous when there's no official explanation. Trust erodes between neighbors, then between citizens and institutions, then between individuals. Once trust goes, coordination goes with it. And without coordination, even abundant resources become inaccessible. The people who fare best are not the strongest or the most aggressive. They're the ones who understand systems, anticipate failure points, and act early while others are still waiting for normal to return. So if you want the real reason cities collapse after power goes out, it's not because people are bad. It's because modern life is a high-speed balancing act built on uninterrupted energy. And when that energy disappears, everything slows, then stops, then decays. Survival isn't about outlasting the apocalypse. It's about recognizing that the clock starts ticking long before anyone admits there's a problem, and using that time wisely while you still have it.